First shots with the Henry. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we are going to take a look at this lever gun from Henry Repeating Arms. Now this is a youth model Rimfire lever gun that I absolutely had a blast shooting. A couple months ago I picked it up from the Elite Indoor Gun Range, my local gun store here. I brought it home. I'm all excited. I showed my son. I bought this for my son. My son's 7 years old. I brought it home. I showed him and he's like, eh. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I'd rather shoot the AR-15. Am I a bad parent or something? I'm like, come on, this thing is awesome. I didn't care. I brought this to the range myself dozens of times and had a blast shooting this rifle. I easily put 1,000 rounds of 22 rimfire through this rifle. It was funny because there's other guns that I had for a limited time, like the Staccato XL or the Smith & Wesson Victory Performance Center. I've reviewed a bunch of nice firearms lately, and I only had them for a month or two, or even like 3 weeks in some cases, where this is mine, so there's no rush to finish the review on this. But even though I'd go to the range with like a $3,500 Staccato, I still found myself shooting this $400 lever gun more than anything else. It's just so much fun to shoot this gun. Anyway, let me quickly do my disclosure. Yes, I do work in the firearms industry, but that will have no effect on this review in any way, shape, or form because these opinions are mine and mine only. Let me also thank my sensational Patreon supporters and my 3 channel sponsors. I do have a question for you today. Have you ever shot a lever gun? If you have, what do you think about it? What brand was it? What caliber was it? And most important, do you think they are a viable self-defense tool? Sign off in the comments below and let me know what you think. So Henry makes a ton of different rifles, most of them being lever guns, a bunch of different finishes, different calibers, especially a lot of larger calibers that would be very, very good for hunting. They make a bunch of different shotguns in different calibers. They have some tactical models that they call the X models. They have a lot of their new lever action guns have side loading gates, which is great because that will be significantly easier to load those. They have a bunch of rimfire rifles. Obviously, they have a bunch of youth versions of their rifles, but by far, my favorite rifle, firearm, whatever you want to call it, that Henry makes, shoots 410 shells, and it's a little shorty guy. It's probably from right here to the end of the barrel. And it's called the Axe, and something about that gun I love. I've never even shot one before, but I definitely want to get my hands on the Axe at some point soon. As always, let's start at the bottom and work our way forward. The butt pad is a very hard plastic piece. It has a little bit of texturing on it, and it has Henry's logo on it as well. It is very, very slick, and I noticed at first it wasn't a big deal until I really tried to run the lever gun quickly, and when I was really getting on it, because it's so slick, it slid down a little bit. Now I'm being a little nitpicky, I know, but I wish it was more of a rubberized so it didn't move as much. Not the end of the world. I'm sure they make covers for them, but just something I wanted to point out. The wood, however, on these rifles is absolutely beautiful, especially considering this is one of Henry's least expensive firearms they make. The wood is an American walnut. It is just, the finish is great, the feel is great, it looks beautiful. Henry is known for having extremely nice wooden stocks. Like all Henry guns, the lever, the action on this gun is extremely smooth. It feels very, very good. It's just solid. No grittiness, no hesitation at all. Being it is a youth model, the loop on there is significantly smaller than some of their others. So if you have very, very big hands, especially with gloved hands, maybe a little tough to get in there, and your hand may slip off out of the loop. That happened to me several times, being it is a youth model. Again, not a huge deal, just like to point that out. The trigger is very good as well. It is like a single stage trigger. There's really no take up. It's smooth, it's light, it's very, very good. Yeah, I mean, like there's no take up there. It feels fantastic. Playing around, I was able to stretch this gun out to 200 yards and consistently get hits. We're talking like 4 out of 5 hits at 200 yards, no problem. Once I figured out where to hold over in the drop from the small 22 LR round, it was very, very easy to get hits out distance. Now, to be fair, my range, the target at 200 yards is this big cutout of a deer, big steel deer, so it's a big, big target. Even at 300 yards, which is even sillier with a rimfire gun, I was able to reach out to 300 yards, and I was going like 2 for 5, 3 for 5. I was probably holding 50 feet above the target and looping the bullet in. But once I figured out where to hold, I was consistently getting hits out to 200 yards and even fairly consistently at 300 yards. So the gun's definitely accurate if you know the ballistics, which who's gonna shoot, whatever. Either way, it's very, very accurate. Now, these lever guns do not have a traditional crossbolt type of safety or any other type of safety like that. What they have instead is a quarter cock safety. If you pull back the hammer a quarter of the way, like that, the gun is now unsafe, the trigger's dead, and it will not fire. So that is absolutely fine with me. You can carry it loaded, ready to go, and when you are ready to fire, you just pull back on the nicely textured hammer, and now you are ready to fire the gun. The receiver is, on the youth models anyway, have a 3/8 inch groove along the top, so you can add a scope if you want. I definitely plan on adding one. One of my son's complaints was he got so used to the red dot and likes the red dot, he didn't want to shoot this because it didn't have a red dot on it. So I'm going to put an inexpensive red dot on here, let him get used to running a lever gun, and then I'm going to take the red dots off of everything he shoots and make him get used to shooting with iron sights, because that's something he needs to do more of. Anyway, the receiver, this particular one is a black finish. It is also available in silver, it is available in gold, and Henry also makes youth model mini bolt guns. The barrel on this particular lever gun is a 16.25 inch barrel. It has a very, very nice blue finish to it. It is a 1 in 16 twist, and I wish it was threaded because everything should be threaded, everything should be run suppressed, even though I can't have suppressors. Underneath the barrel is your magazine tube. It holds either 12 rounds of 22 LR or 16 rounds of 22 short. Again, some of the other lever action guns, it has the side gate. Some of the larger calibers, the youth models do not. One thing I would recommend for safety is to leave the lever open when you're loading the magazine tube. Just you're messing around near the end of the barrel. Just for safety, go ahead and leave that magazine tube, leave the lever open. You could take the plunger out and load it from the top if you want, or there is a little cutout here that will allow you to drop the rounds in. Now, the rear sight on this gun, I like. It is a metal U-notch buckhorn style sight. It's adjustable. When I got this, it was hitting a little high, even at 5, 10, 25 yards. It was high at all of those distances. So we adjusted it a little bit, took about 30 seconds, and it was right on good to go. The front sight is hooded, which you can remove that hood if you don't want it. It is also a blacked out sight, just like the rear, they're all blacked out. Me, personally, with my eyes, they don't do well with a blacked out rear and a blacked out front. I personally like some sort of contrast, whether it be a fiber optic or a white dot or something. So I took a little bit of paint and dabbed the front sight with a little bit of silver paint on the top, just to give my eyes something to contrast and focus on. And once I did that, it was significantly easier for me to pick up that front sight. Now, as far as dimensions, we are looking at a 33-inch lever gun that weighs 4.5 pounds. So getting through all 12 rounds for a kiddo can be a little bit difficult. My son's 7. By the end, he was definitely getting tired. He prefers to bench rest it, even though he can get through all 12 rounds holding the gun up. MSRP is $397. You may find it for more, you may find it for less. 2021 is very, very hard to quote prices, but that is just the MSRP. What I will do is pin several links down in the comment section if you want to pick these up or get more information. They are affiliate links. They help out this channel very, a little bit anyway, and hopefully I can find you guys a very, very good deal if you are looking to pick one of these up. Now, as far as pros, I think overall, Henry makes very, very beautiful rifles that are typically very durable and reliable. I love Henry's model. Henry's model of being made in the USA or not made at all is absolutely fantastic. This gun is good for lefties or righties because the way the safety works on the hammer, there's nothing that a lefty or a righty can or cannot do. So if you have one kid that's a lefty and a righty, or neighbor or whatever, this gun is good for lefties and righties. The wood is absolutely beautiful. I don't know if I said it a second ago, but I'm gonna say it again. The wood is gorgeous. The action is very, very smooth, and even the trigger is pretty decent. Now, as far as cons, I do have two cons, and I know I'm being nitpicky, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Blacked out rear sight is not great for me in my eyes. Took me 3 seconds to put a dot on there, but I just wanted to make you aware of it. And then the butt pad, again, why it's fine, it's a youth Rimfire rifle. I wish it was a little bit more of a rubberized butt pad so it didn't move as much. When I was really running that lever hard, the butt pad moved a little bit in my shoulder. As far as uses, target shooting, plinking at the range, having fun, this is definitely a great rifle for that. Teaching new shooters, teaching kiddos, great rifle for that as well. And then obviously if you want to go out and shoot some small little critters, whether it be a squirrel or raccoon or something, this gun is definitely accurate enough to take out that squirrel at some good distances. I forgot to mention in the beginning of the video, guys, but I do not have a connection to Henry in any way, shape, or form. I bought this rifle with my hard-earned money so my son could tell me he doesn't like it. But thank you guys very, very much for watching. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. If you're looking to support the channel, the best way to do so is on Patreon. If you are not willing or able to kick up a few dollars per month on Patreon, that is no big deal. Just keep the likes and the comments coming because they really, really help this channel out. Now, if you want to know what reviews I am coming out with next, please consider subscribing to the channel and enabling the bell notification. This way, YouTube will hopefully let you know when I come out with a new video. Now, if you want to know what reviews I am working on right now in real time are, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Parler, MeWe, Rumble. The links to all of them are down in the video description. Mentioned it in the beginning of the review, but I have 3 really awesome channel sponsors that help keep this channel going. Blackout Coffee Company for your coffee and tea needs, USCCA for your concealed carry insurance and self-defense education, and then Dangerous But Good for your Pro 2A in Christian apparel. The links to all 3 and the discount codes are down in the video description. One more time, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace. Yeah. I hope you guys heard that. Oh! I hope you guys heard that.